Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the last video of static timing analysis series, which was chapter 1, we studied about basics of static timing analysis. For example, what is static timing analysis? Why do we need static timing analysis? How the static timing analysis tool breaks the design into different types of timing paths and it calculates the delay for each and every path, and then it does the checks for the violation of timing constraints. So the static timing analysis actually calculates the total delay of a particular path by summing up all the standard cell delays and the net delays of that path. So in this chapter, we are going to study what is standard cells and what are the timing arcs. So let's get started. So as you know that every functionality of a chip is designed using the basic building blocks of combinational logic gates or the sequential elements like flip-flops and latches. So these basic building blocks are actually pre-designed and they are called as a standard cells. Okay, the timing information and the functionality of these standard cells is available to the user in the form of nothing but called standard cell libraries. So what is standard cell library and what all information it contains and what all informations we can extract from the standard cell libraries, we are going to cover all this in one of our next chapter. So now let's see what is timing arc. A timing arc is nothing but a path from each input pin of a cell to the each output pin of a cell. So a timing arc basically provides a simple understanding of the structure and the functionality of a gate. There are two types of timing arcs, cell arc and net arc. So if you see here, this is a AND gate, and the path from input A pin of this AND gate to the output pin is nothing but called a cell arc. Similarly, the path from input pin B of this AND gate to the output pin is also called a cell arc. And if you see the output pin of first AND gate and the input pin of second AND gate, the path exists between output pin of the first AND gate and the input pin of the next AND gate. So this arc is nothing but called as net arc. So what is the characteristics of these arcs and what all kind of information these arcs have, we are going to cover in our next chapter. But just remember that one of the characteristics of these arcs is nothing but delay associated with these arcs. So these arcs contain delay information for a particular path. For example, this arc between input pin of AND gate to the output pin of this AND gate. So what is the delay from A to the output pin of the AND gate? So this delay information is present in the form of this timing arc. So how to read the timing arc and how to get the information out of that timing arc and what are all the characteristics of a particular timing arc, we are going to study all these in our next chapter. So so as I told in in previous slide, this cell arc is nothing but a arc present between an input pin and the output pin of a cell. So now let's classify the cell arcs. The cell arcs are basically two types: combinational cell arc and sequential cell arc. So the arc present in the combinational gates are called the combinational cell arcs, and the arcs present in sequential elements like flip-flop and latches are called the sequential cell arcs. Now let's see what is the combinational cell arc. So the combinational cell arc, as I told earlier, the arc present between the inputs and outputs of a combinational cell are called cell arc. So if you see here, the arc which is present between input pin A of this AND gate to the output pin is one cell arc. Now let's see what is the sequential cell arc. So the sequential cell are present in the sequential elements which are flip-flops or latches. So if you see here you see two arcs. The arcs between clock pin of the sequential element to the output pin. This arc is nothing but called a delay arc. This is also a timing arc, but this arc is basically used to calculate the delay, or basically to get information about the delay of or delay between the clock pin to the Q output. So whenever, for example, whenever the clock, so for example, this is a rising edge clock. So whenever the clock tick happens and the input data reaches to the Q. So the delay between the rising edge and the data available at the Q output is one type of a timing arc, which is basically we are calling as a delay arc in the sequential cell arc. So the another timing arc which presents in a sequential element is between clock to input D pin. So this arc basically used to get the information about the setup and hold. So we call them as a timing check arc because these arcs are basically used to get the timing constraints information, setup and hold information. For example, what is the setup time and what is the hold time of this flip-flop. So this arc is responsible to provide that information. So if you see here, arc between the clock pin and the input data pin are known as timing check arcs. Basically, because these arcs are used, the information present in these arcs are used while doing the setup and hold analysis. And the arc between the clock pin and the flip-flop output pin is sequential delay arc. So this arc is basically used to calculate the delay information of that particular path. For example, in one path we have this flip-flop present. So how we will calculate the delay for that flip-flop? So the delay for that flip-flop basically comes from the clock to Q delay arc. So hope this is clear. Now what is net arc? So the net arc, as I said earlier, the net arc is basically related to all the nets present in the design. So one of these net, if you see here, the output of this AND gate to the input of the second AND gate. So this arc is nothing but called net arc. So these arcs are always a delay timing arc. So they always have information about the delay of this particular net. So by definition, the net arc is nothing but between source pin, which can be output pin of a cell, and the sync pin, which is input pin of another cell. So this is nothing but net arc. Now what are the characteristics of the timing arcs? So these are the most important characteristics of a particular timing arc. The delay, basically what is the delay associated with that particular timing arc. Then unateness. What is unateness? We will be covering in our next chapter. And then slew of that particular timing arc. So all of this information is basically present in the timing library, and we have to derive these informations from the timing library of that particular standard cell. So we will walk through a particular timing library of a particular cell, and we will see how we can derive all these informations from the timing library. So hope it is clear about the standard cells and the timing arc of the standard cells. If you have any doubts, please write down in the comment section. Also, if you like the video, please hit the like button, and also do subscribe this channel and enable the notification. Thank you.